Hello and welcome back. We're carrying on looking at the armour that Paul talks about in the Bible. God's special invisible armour that he gets us to put on every day when we follow him. Now last week we were looking at the belt of truth that is the foundation that holds everything together and stops us from stumbling. Well, I've managed to find a Roman soldier. Here he is. And he's called Andreas of, I don't know, Worthingness or something like that. Don't know. And he has got his belt of truth on. Do you want to put your belt of truth? That's keeping everything secure and solid. And today we're going to be looking at the breastplate. Now, this is a breastplate. Roman soldiers used to wear them. It was a vital bit of equipment. So there was a bit on the front, and then if you turn around, it was joined up with a bit on the back, and they were shoulder parts as well. Now, this protected, you can turn around again, the soldiers' most important vital organs in the body. So the heart, the lungs, and at the back, the kidneys, the spleen, everything in your body that's really important. And if a soldier went out without his breastplate on, he could be killed really easy because there was nothing to protect him. Now, the Bible talks about the breastplate of righteousness. And what does that mean? What does righteousness mean? So being righteous is being right with God. Well, how do I make myself right with God? Well, it's nothing that we do, actually. Being right with God is knowing the truths about him, knowing the truth, going back to the belt, that Jesus died for us to make us right with God. So it's a bit like with this glass of water, and then sin, and sin is a word that means basically everything that we do or say or think that's wrong. And sin is in our life, and it spreads and spreads, and it ends up turning us like that. I don't know if you can see that colour. Let me turn it around. And the only way, we can't make ourselves clean, we can't make ourselves right with God. The only way we can do it is through Jesus, because Jesus died for us to take all our punishment. And when we let Jesus into our life, he takes away all the wrong things we've done. So you can see all the green's gone now, and makes us clean again. And you think, well, how can I get Jesus to do that for me? Well, all you need to do is believe in him and say you're sorry for everything you've done wrong. And sorry isn't just about saying a word, saying you're sorry and that fixes it. Sorry is realising what you've done wrong, feeling really sad about it and wanting to change. But of course we can't change on our own because it's really tricky. We have to talk to God, so we have to pray. And when I became a Christian, a long time ago now, when I became a Christian, that's what I did. I said sorry to God for all the things that I'd done wrong, that I might do wrong in the future or say or think. And I accepted Jesus in my life. And then he took that all away. And it's all forgiven and all forgotten. So it's like it never happened, and I can be clean again. And that's something that you can do if you just need to ask Jesus to help you. You've got to say sorry to him and ask him to help you to change. Now, that doesn't mean we won't do anything wrong again, because sin is always there and we can't do much about it. But it does mean that if we say sorry to God, he does that for us and he forgives us. So that's how we can make ourselves right with God. And once we've made ourselves right with God, that's when we can every day put on our imaginary breastplate of righteousness that will help protect us from evil, protect us from the devil, protect us from things that might harm us. And that will help to keep our hearts pure and clean by putting on that armour. There's a few activities that you can do. I don't know if any of you had a go at making the belt of truth last week. Well, this week there's a little picture of how you could make up your own breastplate of righteousness. And you could try that on with the belt of truth. And each week there'll be another thing to make. And then perhaps you could send me a picture of what you look like in all your armour of God at the end of the next few weeks when we finish. I think there's also a colouring page as well. And there's the usual YouTube music videos for you to look at too. Have a great week. Don't forget to put your invisible armour on, and I'll see you next week for the next part of God's special armour.